What it do, cucks? It's your boy, the hater, and I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, which is very odd because the hater never gets sick. However, I'm not feeling too good right now, but that means shit. I'm still gonna do a video up in this mug. Hater on the road, cucks. Still out there grinding it out. Nevertheless, the facts are what the facts are. The hater probably needs to quit smoking, you know what I mean? But anyways, this video is gonna be about a topic that I think needs to be reevaluated again and again until the time comes. So, as the hater has said in the previous few videos, the hater has been offered by friends and by my wife to go all the way to DC, that shithole that I hate so much. I used to live near there. I hate DC. But to go watch Cena's last match, right? Now, aside from the fact that this is a long and boring drive, and I have to go to that shithole called DC, I don't want to go to it because of the general lack of enthusiasm that I have about Cena's last match. Now, consider how this could have been the greatest event ever and a must-see event where your boy, along with others, would have paid hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, if necessary, to go see Cena's last match. Imagine if it was Cena's last match and he was still the world champion. Imagine if it was Cena's last match and he was still heel and you knew that he was going to turn face for his last match, right? Imagine if the WWE title fucking meant something. All of these are things that were within the purview of WWE. Maybe if those dipshits had gotten AI to book their shows, this would have been the case because AI or even a retarded child could have done a better job than this. The worst part of it is the pride that they got on WWE Unreal about the storyline they came up with, which is one of the worst storylines of all time. This is like, you know, when you're like in high school or middle school and the dumb kid in class raises his or her hand and says something that they think is profound, but everyone thinks is fucking stupid because it is stupid. And then the teacher has to pretend that this was not a retarded point. And then afterwards, you look at them and you say, hey, retard, stop saying this, right? This is what should have happened with this board of morons. AI will tell them one way or another. That's the only problem with AI. It's like too nice, you know? You could go to the AI and be like, hey, explain to me why 1 + 1 is 3. And then AI will be like, well, you're actually incorrect. 1 + 1 is 2, but it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. No! Some things are inexcusable. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of them. They pulled the trigger to make Cena turn heel for short-term gains because nobody wanted to go to fucking Elimination Chamber. Another situation where the hater had an opportunity to go, drive all the way to Canada, at least it's not DC, you know what I mean? My cousin's in Toronto, kind of stayed with him, made a thing out of it. But the hater was like, I ain't going all the way there to watch fucking Elimination Chamber. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense. It's stupid as fuck. Nobody good is wrestling except for Cena. And it's predictable. Then they hit us with the quote-unquote unpredictable, like Cena heel turn, which many people predicted, including myself. But they said it was unpredictable. And then from that point forward, we were all left to wonder, like, well, what's going to come of this? And the answer was absolutely nothing. Nothing came of this. One wonderful day, Cena turned face because Cody beat him up. What the fuck? Now, because of that, which obviously wasn't planned, obviously the payoff of this was not turn Cena face at a random ass event. Obviously they abandoned the storyline. The whole Cody Rhodes soul thing was not addressed either. One of the worst storylines of all time. But a lot of people are going to focus on that element of it. They're going to focus on the fact that The Rock's situation with Cody wasn't addressed. Nobody's going to focus on the fact that this had a deleterious impact on John Cena, on the fans, on the future of wrestling, and quite frankly, also on a bunch of ancillary things. There were many other things that seemed to come out of this that led to fuck all. For example, anyone remember Ron Killings? Well, that shit was abandoned real quick. R-Truth comes out with the 3 strands of hair that he has left, cuts his hair off, everyone's retarded, and they're shocked. They're like, I can't believe he cut his hair off. I'm like, it was going to happen anyways. Same shit happened with like Kurt Angle when he had to shave his head. People are like, I can't believe he let them cut their hair. He has like half an inch of hair, and it's patchy, and he's basically bald. Like, if like, for example, Edge had lost that match, or if Booker T cut his hair, That would be a big deal because they actually have hair that people would actually want to have. You know what I mean? Hair that people want to have. Desirable hair. R-Truth cutting his hair. It's like, dude, this guy's like hairline is like more than 50% back. You know what I mean? It's time, kid. It's time. Same thing with Baron Corbin. He had long hair, but he was balding severely. People are like, wow, I can't believe he shaved his head for the craft of wrestling. It was either that or look like he's 49 years old when he was 28. You know what I mean? He had to shave his head because he looked like shit because he was balding. But anyways, that's not here or there. The point is, R-Truth still had to go through the indignity of shaving his hair because that was presented as a big deal, as a character shift. And then all of a sudden, he forgets he's Ron Killings. Then John Cena comes and gaslights him, taking advantage of the fact that Ron Killings, aka R-Truth, is presented as a person who is mentally retarded. Like literally he's presented as mentally retarded. He's the same character as Eugene at this point. Right? And then Cena's like, I was never healed. And he's like, oh, you weren't? Oh, great. We're back, right? He plays along with it and the dumbasses laugh because they'll laugh at anything. Like these people think R-Truth is like the funniest person in the world. Like he comes out there, he says the wrong thing. He's like, oh, I thought this was the Royal Rumble. And it's like Money in the Bank. And then everyone laughs. They're like, hey, isn't that funny? He thought it was a different event. Like this is like, honestly, the fans are responsible for R-Truth's career declining. Like by laughing at this dumb shit, right? And pretending that R-Truth is this comedy genius when he's barely funny at all. Like let's say it like it fucking is. Like only retarded people laugh at this shit. You know? He comes out there and he's like, Brock, you're big. And everyone's like, ha ha ha. And then Brock Lesnar smirks because he's like, this is retarded. People are like, oh, he made him break character. No, he didn't. Lesnar just smirked because he's thinking to himself, wow, I'm a real athlete and I'm here fucking dealing with this shit. That's what everyone thinks. Nobody is amused by this except for retarded people. But anyways, this is not an R-Truth rant. Maybe you'll do that another time, cucks. This is a John Cena should have stayed champion rant. But before we can get to the heart of the matter as to why Cena would benefit and why the fans would benefit, we have to talk about why other people have suffered, right? Namely the fans and also Cody Rhodes and every other challenger. Cody Rhodes has been champion now for, let's just say, 3 months, right? I believe he won it in August when SummerSlam was around, and we're almost in November, right? Like, maybe it's been like 2 months. Who the fuck is counting at this point? You know what I'm saying? 2 to 3 months. I don't remember the exact dates, right? But honestly, you could just say 6 months because it's going to be the same shit for the next, like, until WrestleMania, really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing's going to change until then. So Cody Rhodes has been the champion, and thus far as I can remember, he's had one title defense, a meaningless throwaway match against Drew McIntyre that I'm not even sure it main evented, to be honest, right? Even if it did, it should have. The point is, Cody Rhodes' title reign, the second one, is worse than his first one, which is saying a lot. Because in the first one, the Cuckster never wrestled, right? He never wrestled, you know? People are like, wow, Stephanie Vaquera has a great record. Yeah, she wrestled like 3 times in like 2 nights. And then now she wrestles 3 times every 2 months, you know? So the point is that not enough wrestling is happening, and the WWE title is just as inactive, if not more inactive, with Cody Rhodes, right? And furthermore, the matchups are so far less compelling, right? Does anyone give a flying fuck about Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre? No. So what do? Well, they're going to give it to us again. They're going to give it to us again. No one's going to care again. Honestly, a throwaway match, AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE title, which is an established main event type match and an established title match, since I've had many of them, would have been awesome. You know what I mean? It would have been great. Cena can beat him. Life can go on. It would have been compelling. You could have built up to it. You could have had Cena show up a few more times. I don't know, cucks. But instead, we got Drew McIntyre versus overly emotional Rhodey Chodes. Rhodey Chodes as champion is not good for business, as evidenced by the declining ratings on Friday Night SmackDown. They will hide behind this, and they will say things like, well, you can't blame Cody, he wasn't there. That's exactly why I blame Cody. Dumb fucks. A lot of people think that you can only be blamed for the ratings if you're on TV and the ratings are down. No, you can be blamed through the economic principle called the opportunity cost. Look it up, retards. The opportunity cost is this. If you have Cody as champion, Cody's not going to wrestle, right? If you have LA Knight as champion, he's going to wrestle every week, so the ratings are going to go up. Not because necessarily LA Knight is better than Cody, although he obviously is, but because LA Knight's the champion, and you know that when you tune in, you're going to see the champion. And the championship and maybe, if you're lucky, a championship match. You might see the champion take a fall. You might see someone get a push as a result. But with Cody, you don't see anything, and the ratings go down. But a lot of people are like, well, the lowest rated segment was the one with Berto. Yeah, I know, obviously. I've been saying this for 5 years. Berto shouldn't have a job. Yeah, of course. But what about the fact that instead of Berto being there, who shouldn't be on TV at all, if you had Cucky, maybe that could be a Cucky segment. And the ratings would go up. So with Cody Rhodes, things go downhill. With Cena, things go uphill. And the fact of the matter is, you'll never see Cena as champion again. So why not prolong this title run as much as you could? Imagine seeing Cena and Lesnar for the title, right? The same thing could have happened, except Lesnar could have just gone overboard and won by DQ or something, right? Oh, it would cheapen the WWE title. Not more so than having Cody Rhodes hold it and defend it against fat asses like Kevin Owens and jobbers like Drew McIntyre. Who's the next number one contender? Oh, it might be Jacob Fatu. Cody's like taller and more built than him. Cody would beat his ass. And I'm talking about Cody right now. Oh no, hater, you're wrong. Jacob Fatu would whoop his ass. Why? Because he wears backwards jerseys? Why? Because he has bleached cornrows? Or not cornrows, dreads? He has bleached dreads and he's balding? That's why? Because he's Samoan? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? What are you talking about? Jacob Fatu has never been to the gym one day in his life. He's short and fat. There's nothing impressive about this guy. Meanwhile, on the other side of the equation, you have people like John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Even if you think Jacob Fatu is this legit tough guy, we all know, I don't give a fuck what you say, Brock Lesnar would end him in 1 second. Brock Lesnar would end him, Roman Reigns, Rikishi, the Usos, the MFTs, the entire Samoan dynasty, and probably every Samoan that has ever lived. Okay? And that's not a slight against anybody, because Brock Lesnar would end anybody, basically. Right? So what I'm saying is, you have Brock Lesnar, and instead of making him in the main eventer, and having him fight for the title, and making, even if you have to have him beat Cena, make Lesnar the champion. That way we get to see Lesnar once in a while. Who wants to see Drew McIntyre versus Cody? When you know that in this same show, you have Cena and Lesnar, you already know intrinsically, and intuitively, and implicitly, and many other words that begin with I, that for no scenario that can exist in God's green earth is Cody Rhodes going to be a bigger threat to anything than Brock Lesnar. So you know that he's the secondary guy, because Lesnar's there, cucks. So instead of that, what are we going to see? We're going to see the rumored match, Cena versus Gunther. I mean, I don't see what else it could be, but think about it this way. Like, they could have had Cena versus AJ Styles and have had that match where they do all the finishers. You know, that would have been nice. As a Cena retirement match, if you have him win, right? Or, if you have to have Lesnar beat him, well, just have fucking Cena, keep it all the way until December, 13th, whatever the fuck it's going to be. And then the hater, there is no money. There's no money that I wouldn't pay to go see Lesnar versus Cena in Cena's retirement match for the WWE title. There is no money that I wouldn't pay. I mean, there is, obviously, because I'm not stupid, but I would pay, if I had to, like $2,000 to see it, right? I would go and see it because it's so many things all at once. It's a Lesnar match. It's a Cena match. It's Cena's last match. It's for the world title. See what I'm saying? Now, I can go see Cena's last match. It's going to be him versus Gunther in a boring-ass match that Cena's definitely going to lose. You know? And also, I was talking to a friend. You know who you are, cuck, if you've seen this video. I was talking to a friend, and he was saying, well, hold on, bro. He was like, Gunther can't just retire Cena. He retired Goldberg. And it got me thinking, good point, assholes. You know what I mean? What the fuck? How many people is Gunther going to retire? Fuck that. Gunther sucks ass. So, that being said, this leads us to the conclusion that John Cena's title reign should have kept going. That Cody Rhodes should right now not be the champion. You can have Cucky Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre in a random-ass grudge match. You can make it a street fight. You can make it whatever you want. Hell, you can make it a Marietta, Georgia or Glasgow, Scotland street fight. You can make it a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. You can even have the very, very rare Kiss Me Arse match in honor of Sheamus. I don't give a flying fuck. You can do whatever you want, cucksness. But the point is, that match does not need the title to be compelling, because it's not compelling with the title either, right? It's a mid-card jobber match that should be treated like a mid-card jobber match until you have no other options. This idea that we're going to take literally the two biggest jobbers of the Ruthless Aggression era. Like, literally, they are the two biggest jobbers. You know what I mean? Of the Ruthless Aggression era. And you're going to put them in a main event world title match while you have the biggest stars of the Ruthless Aggression era, Cena and Lesnar, which are also two of the biggest stars of all time. And you're going to put that underneath it? Have you fucking lost your mind? Then you have Fat Boy Gunther, who should be like doing 50-50 matches against Jacob Fatu. Fat ass on a pole match. I wonder who's going to win that one, cucks. That's the problem. They pulled the trigger too soon. Maybe they didn't want Cena to be heel. Maybe Cena put on the pressure. It doesn't matter. Cena's heel turn is validated in terms of kayfabe because Cena as a heel was effective. He turned face and he lost. And now nobody gives a shit. To the point where, would it surprise anybody that they have Cena get his ass beat? He gives a small little speech, and then afterwards, you hear like, "Thank you, Cena." The hater's not gonna be there. "Thank you, Cena." And then Cena just leaves, and that's it. That's it. We know who the champion is already. It's Cucky Rhodes, because Drew McIntyre's not gonna beat him, you know. But if you had done it my way, you would have had the element of surprise, the mystique, the Lesnar match would still be like in the deck. You wouldn't have blown your load on that already. So you would have so many moments converging on what could have been one of the greatest nights in modern WWE history. And dare I say, one of the greatest nights of all time in WWE, because you're seeing the end of Cena's career. And if Cena's the champion and it's him versus Lesnar, which is a fitting retirement match, by the way, right? There is a chance that Cena wins, right? Because Lesnar's Lesnar. Lesnar can lose to Funaki tomorrow, and he will not lose any prestige. He's Lesnar. We know what he is, right? But Cena could beat Lesnar and not bury him. If Cena beats Cody, if Cena beats Rhodes twice, he's buried. He's done, dude. He's fucking a mid-carder now. Now you can go trade wins and losses with Solo Sikoa. Because he's not that good. Lesnar versus Cena would have been amazing. It would have been epic, and there would have been a chance that Cena beats Lesnar. They both ride off into the sunset. Lesnar can come back after, right? And then we have a tournament, like a multiple-month tournament, ideally. Imagine if you did this, a multiple-month tournament. You even put Seth Rollins in that bitch to determine the WWE champion at WrestleMania. Can you imagine that shit? How much better that would be? But no, instead, let's do Cena versus Gunther, and let's put Cody Rhodes in a match with that cuckold Drew McIntyre, who's never going to amount to anything at this point. So that being said, take care of yourselves and go fuck your own asses. I tell you.